Hi and smiles, everyone, and welcome. It's Colleen. So, today, what I'm doing is I'm working with some tissue paper. And the reason I am is again, at the Christmas time of year, we seem to get a lot of tissue paper within gifts and things. So, I wanted to do something that perhaps I could use some of this tissue paper up again without throwing it into the recycle. So I have been doing a bit of dyeing, and this tissue paper seems to work very well for what I'm doing today. And it's what I'm going to do and show you right now. I'm going to use inks, but you could use watercolor. Um, I don't know about paints. I didn't test it on paints. Watered down acrylic paint might work, but I have done a few with the watercolor, and it works really well with watercolor also. But we're going to do the ink, and I'm going to show you how I do it and really how easy it is to do. It's, of course, the biggest part about it is it's quite messy, and so I wear gloves when I'm doing this. So these are some inks that I had they're Stampin' Up inks, the refills. I'm sure re-inkers, you probably could do the same thing by taking your ink pad and squishing it onto your mat and then adding water. But I have these re-inkers, so I'm using them. So I'm going to just choose some colors here. Perhaps we'll do some blue here. Maybe blues and purples to start with. We'll use this one. Perfect Plum, perhaps. And we'll use this one here is Tempting Turquoise. And whether I add some, maybe we should add some pink, I'm not sure. Melon Mango. So anyway, I'm going to start with these and see what I come up with. So I just put a few dots of ink on my mat. And then I'm going to add these. Hopefully, I'm not the greatest at color theory, but I think we'll be okay. And even if I get some brown, that's okay for how I'm going to use these. So put a little pink there, and then we'll put some of this blue on there and see what we get. Okay, so then I just take some water and I just spritz it on here, just like this. And then I'm going to take something we'll use this little spoon. I'm just going to swirl it around, spread it out a bit. Oh, that might be very interesting colors coming out here. So what I did was I cut my tissue papers down into smaller pieces because I'm using them to make, I think I'll make tags and such with this, is what I've been doing. But as I'm doing this, I think you could probably do this with bigger, don't cut your tissue paper down quite so much. And then I crumpled them also. And if you didn't cut it down quite so much, I think you could use copy paper and tea-dyed coffee paper, or just straight copy paper, and add this to the top of copy paper to give it some structure, and you could use it as a page in your journal. But anyways, I crumpled it up first because I want that texture in there, is what I want. So then you just press it in and get your ink everywhere that you want. You really saturate it, is what you want to do. Okay, so then I just pick it up just like that. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. You have to be careful because it's very fragile. And then I transfer it over to dry, is what I do. I will do another piece here so that I can show you a little better that picked up. Okay, let's do a littler piece, because when I picked that up, I was a little rough with it. Let's just do this tiny piece and clean this up, is what I think I'll do. So I'm just going around and picking up the parts that I didn't get, but this is mixing together quite a bit now, so I won't get as variant of color as I did with my first piece. There we go. And it doesn't matter if it folds in on itself, because when it dries is when you can take it apart, bring it apart. I don't want to do that right now just because I don't want to tear this. Okay, and then I just set it aside. So with this, what I think I want to do, what I've been doing is I just have a piece over here that I'm using as a mop up. So I'm using this piece just to mop this up, and then we'll do one more. But so I want to clean my mat, so that's all I'm doing with this piece. This is a piece of it is tissue paper, but it did not come in a gift. I had ordered this by mistake. I thought it wasn't a mistake, because they listed it as vellum paper, and it was not. It was tissue. So that's what I'm using for the mop up. Okay, so let's do a different color set. That was pretty. I might do some more of those. So let's go with maybe some yellows. Let's see, pumpkin pie. What's this one? Cajun Crazy we'll go with. I wonder, should we do some, let's do some, maybe some red. Real red. We'll use some real red and these two other colors. Okay. That might be a little overpowering. Hopefully not. We'll see what happens. And then we'll use this pumpkin pie. So you can use whatever colors you want, right? Totally up to you. And then this one was Cajun Crazy, which is a deeper kind of orangey color, I think. We'll see what we get. Okay. All right, let's spray this out, see what we get for these colors. And I'm just going to take my spoon again, and I'm going to just work it around. Yeah, I think maybe these are very similar colors I'm seeing. That's okay. I'm kind of liking this color. So even if I don't have a lot of variant in color, that's all right, right? I'm liking how this looks, actually, when all is said and done. Okay, let's take this piece. So we're just going to put that in there, saturate it. Now, these are in no means perfectly square or anything like that. So there you go. So we have this. And so I'm just going to put that aside and let it dry. And we got a lot of this, so I might as well use it up. So these can be cut and used any way you want, as in you can cut these and use a piece of this color and a piece of the purple when you're doing your creating, right? But it's such a nice thinner material. That's what I'm liking about it, that you put it on your papers or your tags and you'll get this beautiful finish to it. And when they dry, I will crumple them up some more before I apply them onto whatever I'm going to apply them onto, because it's the texture of that, right, that we want. So this I'm just going to move around, use this up. This, I did make quite a bit of this one. So as you can see, when you're doing this, that you can get quite a bit from a small amount. And you can also, the more water you put on, the more pastel-y the color's gonna look, right? Is what also will happen. You'll get less saturation of color. So it'll all depend what you want. So this one, I'm going to leave a couple of white spots on it. That's what I'm going to do. So again, I'm just putting this over to the side to dry. We'll do one more and then I'll use my scrap paper, I think, to get the rest of it. That's what I'm going to do, because this is getting patchy now. But I don't want to waste any of this color, right? Because that would just be silly to waste it. Now this is a messy project, but the results you get are so pretty, and it's worth the mess, I think, personally. But depends how your tolerance for mess is. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over to the side. Then I'm going to just get my mop-up one, which is going to be very interesting when I'm done all of this, how that's going to look. And I'm going to be using it too, right? So I had this already cut like this, but if you want, take a piece of your tissue paper and just make it a larger piece. And I wouldn't, you know, crump it up any more than it already is to be not for this wipe up. And then you can just crump it up afterwards. I crumped it ahead just because I thought maybe, you know, the color would saturate in those creases a little more when I put it in here. But in the end, I don't know if it is really doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this off, and I'll show you the next thing I was doing with these, just to give you an idea of what to use them for. So I'm just going to use this old rag that I have in here and clean this up a bit. Guess we could just move this mat all together, which I think I'll do. Okay, so I got, you know, a bit here still, so I will do that later, the rest of it. So I'm gonna just leave my inks out and we'll put those aside for now. They're from two different kinds of classes of ink, so I'm kind of trying to keep them in their classification, but I wanted to mix them up a bit. Oh, get that off of there. This is quite stained, but that's what happens when you're doing techniques all the time. And I'm gonna just get my gloves off because I don't need them right now. I'm gonna keep them to the side because I'll throw them back on when I continue this. Okay, we'll just move this out of the way for now. That's what we're gonna do, and we'll use our glass mat. So from there, what I was doing is I was taking some tag forms I had here that I had made ahead of time, because I like to have a few of them made ahead of time, just so when I am in the middle of a project and need a quick tag, I have some to just reach for if I need to. Wondering if they're all the same. Yeah, they're all kind of the same size here. So, and then I did have some really little ones, but I don't see them right now. I must have used what I did have. And oh, I have a black one. I wonder what a black would look like. We'll look at that. Oh, here's the real little ones. Okay, so I'll just set that aside. So I have some that are already dry over here that I had done earlier. But I wanted to show you how to do it all. And then from there, so now I'm just going to crumple these again. So we get lots of texture. This is kind of cool because it's greens and but it's different shades of green, right? Yes, with a little bit of blue in there. I'm not sure because I had done it earlier what I used, but anyways, so we've got that piece and we've got these ones. I was thinking what this would look like on the black compared to the not black. Oh, much lighter on the black, or on the cream color. I don't know if I really like it in the black. Anyways, we'll put this one on first. So basically all I'm doing from this point is I'm just taking my glue stick, get my little glue book here, and glue stick is plenty good because tissue paper is very thin, so this works very well with tissue paper. Then I'm just putting it on, kind of like, and I just pick the area that I may want, and then I'm sort of pushing at the same time. It ripped a little bit there, but that doesn't matter because then I can just push it on top. It's very forgiving because I got a little rough with my fingernail. So that's all I am doing so that it has lots of texture, right? So there you go. You see all that texture in there? I hope you can see it. We'll do one of these ones, and I'm just going to crumple it again. And we'll do that up. And again, the colors are blending so nice. Okay. So we'll just get the glue on that one. And we'll put that on across like that. I do try to stick towards the edge of it so I can make another one, right? I'm going to be able to get another one out of this. But again, depending how much texture you want, you just gently push it as you're putting it down, and you'll gather more and more texture onto your tag, right? So I'm just going to cut around these so you can see the shape of the tag better. Is what I want to show you. And then you can see the texture much better too. If we just cut around this, which is pretty easy because it's very, again, thin. But the biggest thing is try not to tear it, because it might rip right off your tag. And whatever is on the sides, I'll show you how to take care of that in just a minute. But this is really still quite wet with the glue, which makes it a little more touchy to work with, but you can just keep continuing and work with it. You don't have to wait for it to dry. You can, but which would make it a little bit easier, but I haven't been waiting. I've just cut and gone from there. And if you error and somehow you tear off a piece while you're cutting or something, all you need to do is use your glue stick and put another little piece where you got a tear, and it'll be just fine. It still looks awesome. So then I just keep cutting around this, get it all trimmed as close as I can. And I am working very, faster. I'm not being as careful as I might be off camera, but that's okay. That's the way it is. So. Like I said, this can be quite forgiving. Okay. So from there, what I'll do is I will take my file here, because it's so thin, and I can just work the side. If I see there's spots that need to be taken off, I can just take it off. Nope, I'm going to just glue that a little bit because I had folded that in. So as you're doing it, if you find a spot that you think could benefit from a little touch of glue, just stop and do that. All right. So I'm thinking if you were going to do a whole page, which I haven't done yet, you would just piece it on. And I think that patchwork kind of look to it would be quite a cool page in the end. Cool looking page. Definitely could be. But again, it's just going to be more decorative because you're not going to really write on this at all because of the texture. So it would be a decorative page in your journal, not for journaling. Okay, we'll just do a little bit along here. Now this is being a little bit more fiddly only because it's still quite wet, and you can work with it when it's wet like this. But if you're doing this is great for mass making, right? So if you're doing quite a few, you continue gluing while these ones are drying, and then by the time you're done, you're going to be able to do this and it'll come off really, really quickly. Okay, and then putting a hole in the top, because these do have a hole in them, but even if they didn't, I like the look of the hole in these. So then I'm just punching a hole in it. Oh, there. Punch a hole in this one. Oh, gotta get this out of there. There we go, so we can see it. There we go. And then you just, I'll clean that up a little bit more. And then from there, what I do is I will just take some vintage photo and go around the edges. So if I have, you know, any flaw that I may have in there, so that I don't see the cream side of the tag, this will just blend it in nicely. So that's what I do. Now from here, you could sew around the edges and you would decorate, right? But look at all that texture in that background, right? It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous texture on those. That's what I'm loving about these, is all the texture. So I had done some up and decorated them. So I'll just show you those and what you can do with them. So there's this one, and I did a zigzag stitch around it. And then this one, and it's just a straight stitch, creamed straight stitch I did with that one. And then this one, you see all the texture in that in the back. And this one is, I pieced two different pieces together to do this background. And I think this one was watercolor. So the watercolor works just as well. I really like this one. I just put a little bow on top. Again, it's sewn, where this one is not sewn. So you can sew around them or not sew around them. Again, this was two different pieces that I had done, and they're on the same tag. Then there's this one, which the texture and the color is just beautiful in the back of there. And then I did this one. Again, I sewed around it and you can see the texture. And this one, I used a little button on this one. And then there's this one. I did the zigzag stitch, which worked really nice with this one. And again, but in the cream color, the zigzag, but look at that texture in there. And then I did this one. Again, all the beautiful texture. And then I did this one with the coffee pot and the cup. And then I did this one, which I left plain, and it's not sewn. So that's what you can do with all of these, and they're great to have in your stash to use when you feel like using them. I mean, the pieces of tissue already dyed up. I hope that that was helpful. And one of the things you can do with all that tissue paper you received from Christmas, and so you don't have to throw it into the recycle. You can certainly use it in your journals, and you get these beautiful, beautiful textured tags with them. I just love the texture in these. So, and again, you could do journaling cards. You can do a page in a whole page in your journal, etc., etc., etc. So I hope I inspired you and gave you some good ideas to use that tissue paper for. And I want you all to have a lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It truly helps my channel to grow. Press that notification bell and it'll let you know when I'm putting up a new video. And you all have a crafty, crafty day. Bye for now.